Yo, yo. Oh, yeah, the Walmart special. It's the Walmart special hoodie right here. Straight off the sale rack. It's your favorite guy in the hoodie. J Knows Credit. With the budget hoodie today. Yeah, yo, what's going on, Miss Knox? How you doing? Let's see. See, I probably missed some messages here. There we go. What's good, Jay, in my credit? What's good with your credit? What's up with it? $305. Take it to the house. What's going on? How you doing? All right, all right. Just check something real quick. Oh, they ain't gonna get that today. Not like that. Not like yesterday. They ain't gonna get it like yesterday. They missed out on that. What up? What's going on, Mark? How you doing? I said update that W4. No games. If you accidentally took something off of your credit and it was helping your credit, can you put it back? I'm not in the I guess in the business of putting it back. I haven't had anybody ask me that question before. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on the means of how you got it off. If you got it off through a sweep process, or at least mine's, I don't know of a way to put that back. I'm not really sure if you can put that back. Not saying it's not possible. I just, like I said, I just couldn't tell you for sure. Could not tell you for sure. I'm in the business of removing stuff, not putting it back. I don't know. I don't know about that process, man. I really couldn't tell you. Haven't had anybody ask me that question. Can you put something back on my credit? So just, I'm not trying to be funny. Just, understand that that's not what I normally do. So, like I said, it's really hard to answer that for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Like, set up packages, credit packages. If so, some cost. Not understanding your question, Red Stoy. Didn't really catch all that. Now I called them and asked them to take my sister off, and they took it all off. It'll probably report next month if you didn't do it through any other like special means. Oh man, yeah, I missed yesterday, boy. Woo! I don't know. I was in a whole zone, man. I was just zoned out. Usually don't. Kept saying I was going to end the video, then I didn't end the video, and I kept talking, but people kept watching. So, I try to give as much value as I can, especially when I have that type of engagement and all that. But can't give it every day. Just a few nuggets, a few golden nuggets that y'all got yesterday. Let's see. On vacation, but we'll update soon as I go back to work. It shows onto the bureau, but it doesn't show the age. All right. Oh, yeah. Care credit is strong. Good old Synchrony. I'm trying to get an apartment, and Experian won't remove it. You're trying to get an apartment, Experian won't remove what? The credit care? I have some success with Equifax and TransUnion. Oh, eviction. Okay. Is it possible you can just remove one item from Experian? Yes. One item can be removed um, if it's on your credit report, of course. Aren't you going through my service right now, Valicia? Or did you not want to include that when we did yours? Could have sworn we're doing something for you, or somebody just has your name really close to your name. But it is possible to remove one item if you want. I wouldn't suggest that. If that's all you have, that's great. But I would just include everything together, because no matter if it's one item or 3 items or 4 items or 5 items, the minimum's still going to be $800. So even if it doesn't have a balance, it's still going to be $800. Eric said, yesterday was fire. I wish you didn't delete yesterday's class. Yeah, I didn't delete it. I just actually usually I just delete videos. I didn't delete this one. I just locked it to where nobody could see it. So it's a private video now. You got to have a private link to even watch it, or you're not gonna make it unlisted as well. I just didn't completely delete it. Let's see. What book was you talking about yesterday? You have to get somebody in here if they want to tell you. Okay, you didn't have anything done yet. Okay, I thought you did. The credit package is like the ultimate package instead of the things you put together. Can I get a package with only the things that I need? That is what the create your own package is for. I think a lot of people watch my videos and don't watch them in full, or they watch the first 3 minutes, then they immediately call, or they see the title of the video and they immediately call the phone without getting all the information on the video. So definitely highly suggest with whatever service you're trying to get with, a lot of your questions can be answered in the video. Just not trying to be funny. That's the whole point of the video being there. And so that way, the questions you can answer, you may have, you might have less questions after you watch the video in its entirety for a lot of people. So what to do, bro? Are you going to release that video trying to start a repair business? And I've learned a lot from you and your videos. Yeah, if you're starting a repair business, yeah, like I said, that particular video, that's just that video is not even totally credit related. That's on a whole nother level of information I had in that video. So, I may put it out there at some point. Won't be today. I may put it out there. See who's still watching me, and so much time I put out there again, or I might say it again, something like that. As of right now, no. All right. Without any further ado, let's talk about some generational curses, man. A lot of people look at generational curses as being things like getting passed down cancer, as a gene or trait or something, that you have a high risk of cancer. Getting passed down things like, well, shoot, nobody really getting passed on a whole lot of wealth. At least for the majority of us, they're not. But being passed on behaviors, being passed on things that, you grew up on, you grew up doing. A lot of things like, parents or family did, you kind of still do some of those things that are not necessarily good for you to do, but you do them anyway. And as well as like, a big generational curse is the curse of lack. So a big generational curse of lack, that's not, that lack is being passed down, because at some point there has to be a generation of your family, and some of y'all, not all of y'all that are watching this are in lack. I'm just speaking right now, okay? So please understand. There are a lot of people who are in lack, and that lack has been passed on from great grand to grand, to dad, mom. Now the ball's in your court. It's either, you're going to be stuck in lack, or you're going to be in abundance. Like, there is really no in between. Like they say, the middle class. The middle class doesn't exist. If you believe it exists, then you haven't done your research on that definition of what middle class, whatever they gave you, what that even means for middle class. You know, some people middle class to them is 100,000. That's what they say. But some people 100,000 is rich. You know, so but in reality, the middle class doesn't exist. It does not. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe. I'm telling you right now, there is no middle class whatsoever. No, you don't have to constantly purchase. You just get something and, you know, pay it over time. And then you can, you know, just like any card, you can use it once a year, 305 trucking. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of stuff that we haven't been given. A lot of stuff we haven't been given. A lot of stuff that we're owed. A lot of things that have been taken, and things like that. And but there are a lot of people who have also had some wealth, and the wealth is not just, or let me say the lack. I'm talking about lack. I'm not even talking about, you know, having $1 million. I'm talking about just having, you know, being in lack, being without, not having enough, always struggling, always trying to get by. You know, we could go into, you know, reparations and why we should have things, and, you know, that, you know, all that. But I just want to talk about things that you can control, or things that people can, you know, start doing with other generations of their family. Like, and you can be honest right now, you know, we're taught as children, we're taught about what to do, what not to do, right and wrong, math, arithmetic, English, you know what I'm saying, all of that, right? So a lot of things you taught from your parents about that, help you with your homework, help you with reading, help you with studying, things like that. But if you be honest, what have been the conversations about us getting our credit in order? Like, because we're talking about credit right now, there's a lot of things we can go into on that as far as wealth and lack, and, you know, but just on that point, what have you been taught about credit from your family? For a lot of people that I know in my community, when people hear credit, they automatically get scared. They're like, oh man. I even get people who call me who tell me like, yo, I want to get a credit card. I'm like, how much you want? Well, I don't know. I just want to get something. I was like, well, I can get you about 50,000 to 100,000. Oh no, I don't need that much. Like, you want to give me that much? I don't know, man. I can't. I just give me 1,000, 2,000. I'm happy. And I question that mentality. Now I understand everybody's different, what they can use, and not, you know, their mindset on money and things like that. But I don't know. It's aggravating to think about people not wanting more if they're given more. If they have an opportunity to get more and not want the more, it's like why not? And that usually comes from things that are passed down. Because, you know, a lot of us in my community, we're taught that credit is bad. We're taught that, you know, you shouldn't really have a lot of, you know, debt, which debt is bad. We know that. But there's such thing as, like, you know, leveraging debt the proper way, and just, you know, messing up debt. So talking about the teaching that's passed down, a lot of information has been out here for a long time. A lot of information, a lot of things that we didn't even have technology wise that we have today. There were ways for us to do things back, you know, even 50 years ago. There's ways that we could actually build wealth. There's ways even before that, even hundreds of years back, that we could have done to, you know, make money, even with building different sources of business. Even in slavery, people actually created businesses, and actually there are upper echelon of people in the Black community who have a long history of having wealth in their family, even through the whole Jim Crow and all that, before Jim Crow and all that. So, but not getting into that more as far as like beating somebody up because they didn't and all that. But now let's get to today. Let's get to one generation back, or go to 2 generations back. But for example, let's go to 1 generation back. What were you taught? What were you taught about money, the finances? What were you taught about that? A lot of people weren't taught about that at a young age, and that's why when they become adults, they don't make the right decisions when it comes to their money and finances. And so even when it comes to credit, credit is one of the biggest things that people don't talk about, as well as taxes. But credit is a really, really big thing, because it's like, I don't know about credit, so I'm not going to teach about credit. So it's like, now that you're learning something about credit, are you going to keep the curse going to where you don't teach the next generation, or are you going to just keep it all to yourself, or are you going to, actually teach something to where your kids are prepared credit-wise, mentally, as far as what they can do, what they can get? Now, I forgot about my video. I'm actually still in the process, man. I'm still in the process of doing a lot of videos I got to do. I got to edit. I got to finish. But the most important thing to my clients right now is their files, their credit files, their credit being repaired. And I know that's what y'all care about too, is, your credit score, and your credit score is going up, and your credit score is being, credit files being deleted and all that. But I want people to start really thinking about breaking generational curses, and not breaking them just because of spiritual things. Like, people know about demons, spiritual, things that kind of keep them where they are, but trying to go past spiritual. A lot of us are spiritually blessed. A lot of us have a lot of spiritual access of friends and people, for those of y'all who believe in a higher power. I think spiritually, a lot of people are in line. I live in North Carolina, and so I can drive down one street and see 5 churches on one street. Out of those 5 churches, there's 5 bishops, 5 preachers, 5 whatever like that. Now, they could come together and have one church and have a lot of members and have a lot of ministry happening and really affect something, and use those other 3 properties for something else outreach-wise. But the problem is, they're not going to do that because they want to be the HNIC. They want to be in charge. They want to be seen. They want to keep their cut of money that they're getting. They're not looking at how they're going to be able to affect the community if they come together and do things together. Same thing goes for the community of people who, like, for me, I have connections, I have friends, my wife has friends, things like that. And I'll reach out and I'll say, hey, let's all get together and put our money together, and let's go to Costco, and let's go shopping for Costco. And we can kind of split different foods up, and we can all save money, and we can all buy stuff in bulk, and we can eat good. A lot of people can't really fathom that because they're thinking about me, me, me. It's like, everybody has their own house, their own cars, their own apartments. They have their own food, their own things like that. But back in the day, people actually shared what they had. And so, like, I know I'm bouncing around here, but I'm getting to a point, okay? So, like, people used to come together and bring all their goods together so that everybody would be satisfied in the community. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that. And so all those good things that we did have with sharing, and this goes for my Black community out there, people who actually, reinvested the Black dollar back in the community. A lot of that has gone away. And no matter what you see as far as a Facebook post, Instagram post, something like that, it's good to see every once in a while, but people aren't really getting back to that. They're not really trying to take all the good things or the generational blessings and bring those back. It's just been more of the same. It's been more of the same ignorance, the same speaking and talking about all of these negative things as far as when it comes to money, taxes, credit, things like that. I mean, I get young people who call me, not just the older community or what I call my seasoned friends. I get a lot of young people who call me who are just baffled by credit. I get people who hit me up now who, like, I didn't know that an authorized user even existed. I didn't know that you could clean your credit up in 45 business days. I didn't know that was even possible. And so I know that a lot of people are not really getting the education on that. And, I just want to have a discussion about, things that were passed on to you that were positive, and then talk about things that were passed on that were negative. So you got your generational blessings, you got your generational, what I call curses. Because if it's not producing, if it's not beneficial to you, if it's not helping you move along, then I feel like it is a curse in a way. All right. Call it what you want. Ignorance is bliss. Definitely ignorance is bliss. And it's like, you can only make excuses for so long. You can only say that, I don't have because I didn't have my daddy. I ain't have my daddy. I didn't have because my mom died. My mom died of breast cancer when I was 5 years old, 4 years old, actually. And I had to go to a foster home. So I don't want to hear that either. Well, I don't have because, I didn't have anybody around me to help me. Like, I'm in a weird place, a weird city, hundreds of miles away from where I actually was growing up at. And I was around people who didn't have my best interest in mind. And I was around, abusive speaking. Some of y'all were abused and all that. And it's very hard for me to give anybody an excuse as to why they are where they are. I don't have education. I ain't got that either, as far as traditional diplomas and degrees and all that. So you go through a whole list of things as to why you don't have such and such. You can blame and point the finger and do all of that. But whatever curse has been laid upon you, whatever's been told, whatever's been passed on to you, you can break free from. But it's more of a choice. You have to stop thinking that it's other people's faults as to why you are where you are. Like today, like you're not there because you're black. It's not why you're there. You're not there because, you were in Section 8 housing. It's not why you're there. You're there based on the decisions you made from now from then until today. Your surroundings, who you decided to surround yourself with, type of people, type of things, So it's really time out for people to blame. I don't like the blaming thing. Like, you can blame all day. Okay, all right, that happened. All right, we are sorry. When tear tattoo. All right, now what we gonna do? We got that out the way. We done hugged up. We done prayed. You know what I'm saying? We done did all that. Now what's next? Or are you still living on that same exact, you want everybody to have your pity party and you want everybody to feel sorry for you because you didn't have this, you were told this, you got all these curses laid upon you, and now woe is me. The whole woe is me type of mentality. So, yeah, definitely. It is. Life is trial and error. Someone will teach you, but until you apply it, wake up and change your mentality and want more, want better, nothing will happen or work. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. And so, I actually called a friend the other day, and I don't know if he's watching this, but I'm going to just say it anyway because I really don't care. So I called a friend the other day, and, this friend, I know he needed some money. And so I'm like, hey, friend, I forgot, bro. Like, I know his scores is very high. He has a very high credit score. I know he's got credit cards. known him for years, like literally over 10 years type stuff. I'm like, yeah, bro. I know you got some authorized users. I just had some clients who just paid for some authorized users. And I could use your AUs, man, to start, paying you, hundreds of dollars or whatever to, put some AUs on your credit card. And so, so scared, like the mentality was so locked in, like, oh man, are they gonna see my information? They're gonna see my name? Are they gonna be able to get my information? I'm like, nah, they're not gonna be able to pull who you are and all that kind of stuff. They're not getting a credit card and all that. But it's like, yeah, I need to think about it. And so I was like, you need to think about it? Like, you need money and you need to think about it? Like, me, I'm not gonna do nothing to hurt you financially. Like, bro, and you want to think about it? It's like it's like a lot of people's mentality is so locked in to where they can't see past, where they are. Like, like you're talking about the chains are the ones you can't, the best chains are the ones you can't see. Those mental chains, man. Some people just are so scared of everything, they'll never get out of where they are. Never. It just won't happen. I hate to say never, but they won't never get out of where they are because they're so scared of anything, scared of changes. I got people watching this right now. You're probably scared of a cell phone because you're an older person. Why are you scared of a cell phone? I go to Apple Store all the time. I see 80, 90-year-olds literally taking classes on how to use an iPhone. When I go to the Apple Store, there's always people just sitting there with their iPhones and iPads and MacBooks taking classes. But you make the excuse, oh, I'm from another generation. I'm old. I ain't got time to learn that and all that. I need to call my daughter to come and help me with this because I don't know how to do it. No, that's because you refuse to even learn how to do it. Something that you don't even want to even experience and try because, that's not in your generation's time. It's still your generation. You just like to use that as an excuse to not want to learn something. So older people, younger people, doesn't matter. I'm talking to all y'all right now because it's time out for the excuses, man. It's just time out for that. Nobody has time for that. Another thing, nobody remembers what you had on last week. Nobody remembers what, clothes you had on, shoes you had on. Nobody remembers that picture you took back 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And how good looking you were and all that. Nobody remembers how you did your makeup the other day. Maybe your husband does, but that's about it. So you do all these things. And I say people have value. You have value on things. You value certain things because you put so much money into these things. And so, not just money, time. That's what I meant to say. Time, really. Time is where you put, because that's one thing I hate, wasting my time anyway. So that's where my money lies, is in my time. Spend so much time investing in things that don't bring any value. Like, that is like the worst thing ever. Is just to go through life, get on social media, post some pictures, like, comment, scroll, laugh for about 2 hours, go to Instagram, like, swipe, screenshot, share the screenshot. Oh, that video is funny. Share this video. Did you see this video, girl? Do that. I mean, that's literally, there's so much time spent doing that instead of researching something that's going to help you. Like, you want to have a hair salon, girl. Why aren't you researching how to get one? What are you doing to get one? Not saying everything is about business. Not saying everything you shouldn't spend all your time just thinking about business. You should be having entertainment, having things that you like to do that entertain you, playing games and all that. But there's a time for that. You should be spending 3 or 4 or 5 hours a day doing leisure when you're broke. You start spending 4 or 5 hours a day doing leisure stuff, and you're nowhere near where you want to be. You have no savings account, but you're doing leisure stuff. You have no extra money after you pay your bills, and you're doing all this leisure stuff. Leisure is like, if you want to go on Saturday and go to the movies, or you want to go because it's your day off of work. You want to go to a matinee because you've never been able to go out during the daytime because you're always working. Cool. But throughout the whole entire day, you're doing all this other stuff. Even while you're at work, it's not the time to do leisure stuff. If you got a little break or you can look up your phone, do something that's going to add value to your life, not just something that you're going to be able to like and be happy for everybody else's life. Okay? Don't spend so much of your time looking at other people's lives and you look at your own. You know, a lot of people don't want to even face their own realities because they feel like, their realities is so bad that they have to think about somebody else's life to make their lives feel good. But actually the reverse happens. You actually get more depression. There's more depression fact. People are just on so many pills right now because they're seeing all these things online and how people are living, and they don't have that lifestyle. So now they're on depression meds, just based on that. But anyway, going back to the the generational curses on credit. All right. If your mom has a 500 or 600, most of the time, the son, the daughter has a 500, 600, 400. That happens so many. I've seen people's credit scores from a parent and a son, or a parent and a daughter, and their scores are so like simultaneously together. Like they're just right, like 30 points away from each other. Because of what was being taught. Like the mama doesn't know any better. The son doesn't know because he wasn't taught by the mama or the father or anyone or peers. And so that's what produces. It's just, average. And I don't want people to be average. I don't want you to be average on your credit. I want your credit to be exceptional. And of course, everybody here, you went through your problem, you went through your mistakes, you went through not really knowing and all that. Okay, we got that out the way. We're on the road to getting your credit repaired. You're repairing it yourself. You're doing it through me. You're doing it through another person that you're doing. You're doing it through, a company. Oh, it doesn't matter. But the point is that now that you're learning something, now that you know something about it, do you have in your mind only you need to get to a 700 credit score, 750 credit score to get your house and get your car? Are you looking beyond that? See, people who look at just the temporary goals is not who I'm talking to. Or I'm trying to pull out to those people who might have that type of thought mentality and take it to a whole nother place. Like, think about how you're going to be able to affect, even if you don't want to have kids because you don't want to adopt. You have a partner, and you're not going to have any type of traditional type of child, giving birth and all like that. You don't want to adopt. Are you talking to people around you, friends, young people? Are you helping to put that seed in their head that, not just that they can play basketball, they can, do football, things like that. Like, yo, I'm saying, like, talk to you about your credit, man. Let's talk about your credit. Let's talk about what you're going to invest in, But a lot of people aren't thinking like that. Like, it just saddens me. It saddens me that people continue to make excuses as to why they can't do something. And it's just sad. It's very sad to me to even talk about it. But I do want to hear from some of you about some things that you've experienced, and you might have some questions I didn't see as well. So let me find that real quick. Nobody cares to learn or educate themselves on the things they want the most. Man, OTR, man, that is, whoo, boy, you preaching right now. Watch out now. But yeah, a lot of people just don't do that, man. I told you before, people are scared of success. They're very scared of success, even though they say the opposite. Should I write in fax my dispute letters, and is there a certain amount to dispute at a time or dispute all at once? I have 20 plus per bureau. Now, I've heard this a lot too, Mr. Lee Green, and you'll get this from a lot of credit repair experts, and they'll tell you that you should only do, one dispute at a time. You should do one thing at a time, or you'll get things to where a company will tell you that, you should do 5 disputes at a time. Or, like I said, well, we don't want to throw any red flags with them, or, make them upset as to, removing your stuff. That's just an excuse. And if you're on here and you've got my service now and you've seen your credit reports, you'll see that like everything that you wanted disputed has been disputed. That's how I got the client who had, 42 negative items. We got 42 negative items off in the first round. So there is no particular limit as to, how much you can dispute at one time. That is a little myth, as well as a tactic that a company will use just to get you to keep paying them every month for you to stay with their company. Because like I told you before, a lot of companies don't have cutoff dates. I know with my service, I have a cutoff date where you stop paying monthly. They don't have no cutoff date. So they're going to say whatever they got to say. They have you keep paying every single month forever. That's their point, is to keep you paying for a long time. Let's see. Make sure I have some questions. But yeah, you can write as many as you want, man. Okay, cool. Makes my skin crawl to think about working for someone else. I'm glad to be the one to change the narrative for my family, for the most part, unlearn, relearn, and reset the cycle. Facts. Our generation just teaches us how to work our fingers to the bone, and may speak about saving. Credit is usually never a topic, ever. I'm telling you. Credit for me was an eye-opener, how this is all tied together more than people can see. Yeah, man. I just wish that, everybody saw that. Of course, that's just wishful thinking. We know that. And we have been game goofy. And not everybody can handle it. There's 199, 10, and 90. Yep, that's true. I was spoiled, rotten brat, and still is, and all I knew and was taught was spending and getting what I wanted. My husband taught me about credit, and finally I see the vision and why credit matters. I was always taught to put something away and never give someone what you can't afford to lose. I like that. Ignorance is bliss cannot save something you never had to begin with. Everything is owned by the system and religion of white supremacy. Oh, man. No matter how legit your excuses are, it will not change your life situation. That is definitely a fact. They say, y'all hit the like button. Nah, they ain't. I'm not getting a lot of likes. I won't get a lot of likes for this. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. It's not even important. The likes aren't important. If I get one person to really like understand that, yes, everything may not be your fault, but as of right now, what you're doing right now, what you choose to do, that is your fault. That is your fault. Whether it's helping you or it's hurting you, it's all on you at this point. It's all on you. You can't blame nobody else. It's all on you. And no matter what your situation is, no matter if you're sleeping on somebody's couch, yeah, that may be the bottom for you, but you can get out of that situation. You might be homeless. I've been there as well. This really, like, I've been locked up for stuff in my past, like doing breaking and entering. I was doing breaking and entering. I was breaking into houses, breaking into cars, things like that. So I was selling dope, not weed, selling crack rocks, not cocaine, selling dope, butter, and $20 per rock. Luckily, I didn't get caught with no dope, so I don't have any dope charges. Thank God. But everything else I got caught for at least once. And so You got a record. So what? It's actually good if you do. If you're watching right now and you have a record, that is fantastic. Nobody will give you opportunity. You can't get no job. That is freaking fantastic. You know why? Because it makes you want to get out there and get it. That's a grind by any means type of mentality at that point. Just don't do anything else illegal to get back in jail. But it opens up your mind to new possibilities of ways to make money and ways to succeed when nobody else will give you the opportunity to succeed. So that's actually a blessing for you. It was actually a blessing for me to be at a church where I had lost my place of living. I didn't have a place to live, but I was in a church. And nobody would take me in. Nobody would give me a place to sleep on their couch. And I was going to that church. I was serving under the ministry of the church. And nobody would give me a couch to live on, you know what I'm saying, or to sleep on. And I worked, but I just didn't have a place to stay. I couldn't get an apartment. I wasn't approved for an apartment. And so I was living under somebody else's lease illegally, and I had to have a place to stay after that lease was up, and I didn't. So after being homeless at one point, I was homeless a second time. You know, only because I didn't have credit. I didn't have no credit. I didn't have no backup in order to get no place to stay, and I wasn't getting help from the place I was supposed to get help from. And that's not bashing. I'm not trying to bash right now. I'm just, you know, just saying. Just saying. I wasn't given anything. Like, people look at me and they're like, oh man, this guy, they see photos on Instagram. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? He's doing well. But yeah, but you see all that glory, but you don't know any of my story. And that's why I try to tell people, and I kind of get bits and pieces here. Like, you know, could you handle not having a mom or a dad? Could you handle not having a grandma or aunts, uncles, and cousins? Because I didn't have none of that. Could you handle being emancipated at the age of 16 and being on your own at 16 years old and having to figure life out? Can you imagine being an adult at 16 years old and going out here working 2 jobs and grinding and you know what I'm saying, going through life as an adult at 16, having your first apartment at 16, figuring out life, having bills at 16, not 25 when you get out of college. You know, so nobody's excuses is going to be able to reach me and for me to understand them. No, there's really nothing you can tell me. You were beat. Look, there's nothing you can surprise me with that's going to make me feel sorry for you for why you are where you are. Nothing. What are you doing to get out of it? You got to be doing a whole lot to get out of it. And who you're sharing your story with, are you sharing it with people so people can actually hear what you've been through, that way you can help somebody else through it? Or are you just ashamed of what you've been through and you're so ashamed about it and you just, you know, lock yourself in a room and you just can't see yourself doing anything else because you've gone through so much stuff? Whatever you're going through, whatever you've gone through it for somebody else. You didn't go through it for yourself. I didn't go through what I went through for me. I went through what I went through so I could help other drug dealers and help other people who were locked up, or to help other Black people and help other young people who went through the same thing I went through, so that way they can know that they have a chance to make it out. That's why I went through it. Whatever you went through it for the same reasons, to help somebody or a certain group of people, or maybe even to help one person who the universe or God has a plan for. You know, you don't go through it for yourself. Definitely. It definitely does. Definitely does. Definitely makes you stronger. And so, you know, I just want people to get that mindset that you got to stop blaming other people. You got to stop doing that. You got to start breaking curses. And I'm talking about all curses, not just the ones about credit, but credit is a big one. Nobody even talks about it, because it's like something you don't really think about it until you need it. You know, so many people hit me up now and they're like, you know, I want to buy a house. I'm like, when do you want to buy a house? ASAP. Okay, what's your credit look like? I look at their credit. Nowhere near ready for no house. Nowhere near ready for a house. But it's like, if we were taught, or if we were to teach the next generation about certain things, they would already know and be prepared to do something. These things wouldn't surprise, any of the next generation. I don't want the next generation to be surprised by things that we're going through in this generation. Every generation should be better than the previous generation. And it seems like in a lot of ways, some things have actually either stayed the same or even went down some, as far as like wealth, quality of life, income for a lot of people. And so the only way to change that is to change self. Look at yourself and start figuring out, am I in it for just myself? Am I looking at only goals for me? Am I looking at goals for the next generation? Whether it's the generation that I raise or the generation that I help raise by giving them information. And so, you want to make an effect. I just talk about you just want to make an effect, man. Don't make it all about you. If it's all about you, your vision is too small. You don't have big enough vision, man. Oh, man. Only people understood. If only they understood what I'm saying. Everybody won't get it. Everybody won't get it. But let me see. Make sure I didn't miss any other messages. I know. Oh, and if you're just watching this now, you got some credit questions. You can ask a credit question. I know I'm going to some other stuff. All right, let's see. I'm baffled by people that BS themselves daily, young or old. Man, like that's the worst thing to do is lie to yourself. That's the worst thing. And then start to believe the lie that you told yourself. Life itself is a trial and error. Yep, I did read that. Yep. Fear will keep you locked and in bondage for years to come. It says 6 brothers all with guns, 1 cop, come, they all running. Facts. I actually came here for a temporary goal and a reason for even wanting to repair my credit, but I have been teaching my sons about credit at ages 8, 9, and 11, breaking those curses. That is fantastic. That's the best testimony I've seen right there. Forget a credit card, man. Just teaching somebody else, teaching the next generation. That's fantastic. Jerry says I ordered the book. Fantastic. Should I make my letters simple or use the template jargon pursuant to, et cetera, et cetera? Lee Green, make it in your own words. You can put all that stuff in there as well. You can mention that kind of stuff, but still make it in your own words. Magnificent Morocco, you just signed up. What'd you sign up for, Magnificent? What'd you get? What happened to yesterday's video? It got deleted. Like I said, it was going to get deleted. You can't watch it. It's gone. Bigger testimony for those who have a story and have grown from their past. Absolutely. Check out Corey P. Smith. Is he on Instagram? Church is the biggest scam. No excuses, improvements only. Absolutely. Brian C. You signed up for monthly. When should I start on my son's credit? He is 4 years old. Depending on how responsible you are, you can add him on to your credit card as an authorized user now. You don't have to wait till he's a certain age to add him on. He can already be building credit now. As long as you know with that credit card, you're not going to mess that particular credit card up. And if you are, or if you feel like you're going to, go over the limit, that kind of thing, just go ahead and, take him off beforehand. But you can add him on and he can start actually building credit now. Yeah. Anybody else have a question? I'm not going to make this video long with it today. I promise I'm not, because I still have a lot of work to do. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I really do have a lot of work to do. A lot of credit work. A lot of people who submitted files who haven't submitted all their information and documents. Definitely got to get my assistant to reach out to some of these people who submitted files 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago, and I can't do nothing because I don't have your information. And so I go down the list. I'll go down the list and start doing files. When a person sends in, like if you do a job form, you do a form for me, and I don't look at the form immediately. If you paid, then I'll start looking at the form. But if you haven't paid yet, I don't look at your form whatsoever. So you could have submitted a form, and then you finally pay a month, 3 weeks later after you submitted me a form, and I go through the form. Once I get to your name, because I might not get to your name until 2 days after you've already paid, because I'm going through all the other people who've already submitted their files. I got to get through there, submit their files in. Then I finally get to your file, and then I see, oh, you're missing security questions. You're missing PIN numbers. You're missing an ID. Your ID is blurry, things like that. Now I have to reach out to you to get your information, and then you don't give me information back until another 2 or 3 days. And so you check on your profile. You're like, well, what's going on with my credit? Okay, I don't know what's going on with your credit because I've submitted it at some point, but I can't go by the date that you paid because the date that you paid is not the day that we got everything in for you, possibly. Or if we did, I know that you definitely were sent out within 48 hours of the day that you paid if I had everything that I needed to have. But if I didn't, and your file was delayed for a day or two, whatever, just don't be mad at that because that's something that, you didn't give me. So. All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, does anybody have a question? Anybody have any credit questions whatsoever? Anything they want to talk about personally about their credit that I can be able to, drop an answer for, just give knowledge on. Man, there we go. That was my assistant right there. Do you do individual credit sweeps, or do you have to have all three? Keisha Joyner. It's not worth doing individuals. I can do an individual. It doesn't matter if you had, let's say you had a collection on Experian only. One collection, $3,000 debt. It's still gonna cost $800, whether it was on that one report or it's on all three reports. The work that's being done is the same. All I'm doing is duplicating that same thing that I did on all three of the bureaus. So the real work comes from actually doing your file, not from, me submitting it. The submitting part is the easy part. That's just me hitting a button, basically. We won't be technical. But the real work comes into actually getting the file together. I missed the answer, brother. Should I fax those inquiry letters on top of mailing? I would mail and fax. You can't fax to Experian. You only fax to Equifax and TransUnion. You fax to Experian, they ain't gonna never see it. So it's always good to send in and fax off. That way you have proof from both sides. How many points are earned per account that is paid on time for Equifax? How many points are earned per account that's paid? That's not a there's really no algorithm for that. Like they don't do like a point amount for every time you make a payment. Your payment cannot move for months and you're making on-time payments. Also, the balance cannot be going down because the balance could be tied to a lot of high interest. And so what's really going to affect your score and bring up points is going to be utilization being low, preferably under 10%. And just making sure you're making 100% of on-time payments. Now, the reason why you might think that is because you might do like one of those scenarios where it tells you, hey, if you make on-time payments for the next 2 years, your score will be up 34 points. But the reason for that is because when you're making those payments on time, you're also paying down the amount that's owed for that utilization, or you're paying down the debt on that car, which helps your credit to debt ratio and your income to debt ratio. So that's why those scores change there. But yeah, to answer your question, there is no like algorithm just for you paying the account. When are you running a special again? I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I do one. With inquiries, should I send a letter to the creditor as well as the agency? Yep, just answer that question. Yep, you definitely should send a letter to the credit. Oh, the agency, like the actual. I'm sorry, I read that question totally wrong. Let's backtrack here. Are you talking about the agency? You talking about the credit bureau? Branded launch it? Are you talking about? Oh, also with the inquiries, guys, like if you're trying to get inquiries off, you really gotta have your letters gotta be fire. Like you're not gonna get no inquiry off with no little just cute letter. Let me tell you that right now. That cute letter is not gonna get it off. What I mean by cute letter is I mean by something you found on the internet. That ain't gonna get it off. I'm just telling you that right now. You're not gonna be able to find that letter to remove inquiries fast off your credit report. You're not. There is no letter that you're gonna find for that. I'm telling you right now. Sending in for letters. I mean for inquiries. I would include that in my disputes. In the same exact letter. I would not make them separate because you're just going to be wasting your money because a lot of times they're not going to remove nothing when it comes to no inquiries. You might get lucky, but I would definitely send it in all in it at the same time on the same exact letter. Jay, my oldest card is secured from credit union, 3 years old. Is that going to keep me in high risk and low limit territory? Eric, now it's not just about that. It's you also got to look at how many accounts do you have total. Do you only have a small amount of accounts? Like, is that your only one, or do you have more? The more accounts you have, the better. Even if they are small, the history is what counts. The history is actually more important than the limit. So, if you got a card with $500 as a credit limit, but it has 10 years of credit history, like, man, you got some you got a blessing right there. You definitely can get funding very easily with that. My brother just got pre-approved with the Navy auto loan, $50,000. Yeah, and they do like a lot of pre-approvals as well. They do pre-approvals. You still got to back up that pre-approval to get the real approval. All right, once you give your information, because I've had a lot of people who actually did get pre-approvals with Navy and didn't get a car. So just make sure that whatever they pre-approved him for, that 50,000, make sure you can back it up with having the income and the credit score, because they're going to pull his credit score through Equifax. Did you ever get a chance to search for those TVs, Richard Talley? I did look at those TVs. I didn't buy any. Like I looked at them, just to be honest, but I didn't even have time to really focus on the investment. This has been such a crazy busy time for me. Like, I barely have time for this live. You think I'm playing? Like, I barely have time for this live and still be a functional human being. What's a ballpark with the amount of funding you can get with a clean profile, 7 months of history with your AU packages? Ballpark, I always do 50K to 100K. Always ballpark. If I get more, fantastic. But between 50 and 100 is usually pretty easy to get. It said it's got a good rate. They mail the check. Oh yeah, they definitely do good rates, man. Yeah, those who don't have Navy, trying to get a car, man, that's what you want. You want Navy to get your car, if you can help it. They do such a great job with with their funding processes. It's almost scary not to go with a credit union, period, in order to get funding. Let's see. Derek, retype that. So I get my credit straight. I'm on it. Yep. Y'all on it. Got to get on it. But like I said, you all, not gonna make this video too long. I had to call my assistant back to see what she wants. Oh man. When I tell you I'm tired, I'm definitely tired. And y'all think like, man, you don't work no job. Why are you so tired? Business is work. It is work. And it ain't for the weak. You definitely got to be built for this. You know, you definitely can't go and, leave a job and then try to work business and think you're going to do what you did at your job. Like, there ain't no 30-minute breaks all the time, going to the bathroom, hiding and get on your cell phone. Like, it's not how it works. Definitely not how it works. OTR. If average age is 7 months, is that too short for funding? You can get funding at any amount of real age. Like, you can get some funding in some form or fashion. It's just that if you want to secure bigger limits and lower your amounts of denials, you want to have a lot more history. That's all I suggest. I don't tell anybody that they cannot get funding, because that is definitely not true. I got people a credit card with no type of credit history at all, except for AU. So that has been done before, but it's just not going to be what you want, because you don't want to have all these negative increase. And I want to give you a lot of increase. If you want me to apply for you, I want to give you a lot of increase, then turn around and charge you to take them back off. Because then you're looking at me crazy, like I did something to you. Let's see. Let's talk about the taxes again, how to fill that form out again. Nope, we ain't talking about that. Can you take an auto loan from Navy and get a car from an auction? I mean, they gave you a check. I don't know. Not sure. I would think they want you to get a car that's on their lot. I would think so, but I couldn't tell you yes or no about that. I would lean more on the no. Man, I'm so high from yesterday's video. Oh man, yeah. I'll give y'all some more of that another time. Another bat channel. Hey Jay, I missed yesterday's topic, and it is avid watcher since subscribing. Can you release it from the vault, please? I am asking. Let's see, David Ben Israel. Man, first time seeing that name, but hey, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. That may come out the vault, but if it comes out the vault, it's going to be for a very, very limited time that is released from the vault, So I wouldn't expect that anytime, really, really soon. But you never know. You never know. Navy with the win. Anthony Reed, I have 5 years on TransUnion, but only 1 year on Experian and Equifax. Could I get higher limits, or will I have to have good history on all three? That's where the AUs come in. You add the authorized users to your account. I do sell those, or if you don't have access to those. And once those post to your credit, then you can apply for more credit cards. So I say 4K in taxes. Hey, that's what I like to hear. You say $4,000 in taxes. That's a good day. It's a good day. Oh yeah, I love my Amexes. I got 3 of them or 4 of them. 1, 2, 3. Go. 4. I have 4 of them. Yeah, I love it. I love Amex, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yesterday's video was turned. I'll give y'all some more of that another time. Like I said, got to keep y'all watching somehow. Y'all may not. Y'all may get bored with me. You know. How does Amex verify? You said stater income or statter income? I never have to do any type of income verification with Amexes. I don't do any type of income verification ever with Amex. If you have, I'm not sure. What up, Jay? Board of Education and Navient be taken off with letters to 3 credit B. Board of Education and Navient taken off with letters to 3. Oh, to 3 credit bureaus. I'm sorry, I was trying to get what you were saying. Now, are these Board of Education, Navient, are they collections or are they just accounts you don't want to see anymore? Because that letter ain't gonna do it. If that's the case. Oh shoot, good deal. I am still fixing to get your AU packages. Still just waiting for the rest of my money to come in. Okay, fantastic. All right, but yeah, like I said, I gotta get to work. I really do. I am still behind today. A brother, D and B, told me I need Amex for my business and confused the hell out of me. You talking about Dun and Bradstreet? Yeah, we'll get look, OTR, don't worry about that. We'll get you a business account. We need to get your business profile set up first. We'll do all that. March Madness is coming. I know, right? Don't work too hard. Yeah, right. March Madness is here for a lot of y'all. It's not there for me yet. I got a lot of, it's already mad now. Man, I'm just trying to prepare myself of how much work I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to probably take I'm gonna take like one day where I just sleep. Because once I start this March Madness for business credit here in the next couple days, it's gonna be crazy. It'll be real crazy. But anyway, definitely going to end this because I do have to get to a lot of work. I definitely am not joking. But if y'all need any help today, give us a call and I'll get you started here. Now, okay, real quick, Jerry, that sweep is definitely up to the person. They want to do a sweep or they want to not do the sweep. But I don't tell people which one they should do. That's all based on how much time you have. Whether you pay $79 or you have to pay up to $3,000, $4,000 for your sweep, possibly. I'm not telling you which one to do. I'm gonna tell you which one, what the time periods are and all that, and you let me know based on how much time you have, what you want to do. And that prevents me from saying, well, Jay, you told me. I didn't tell you which one to get. I didn't tell you to put yourself in a bad situation financially if you have the money to invest in it. I tell you what the services are, how much time it's going to take, based on your goals and based on your income. You decide, what you want to do. Okay. But anyway, thank y'all for watching once again. Happy pre-Friday, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right.